All right. I am back on Canadian soil. I had a little hiatus this week. Hopefully you guys didn't suffer too much in this old start sit decision world, but that's why we're going live a little bit earlier today so we can answer as many questions as humanly possible. Our weekly rankings are now up to date, so if you guys have access to those, definitely go check those out. And as inactives come in here in the next 10 minutes or whatever, we'll make any adjustments that we need to make. So let's kick this off. Danny, how we always do it. Let's get right into our locks of the week and then our underdog picks of the week, going nuts picks of the week, and safe plays of the week. And then we will get into all of your questions as people file in here. We'll start this off. My lock of the week actually is a little dangerous. I'm trusting in Tyson Bagent and the Chicago Bears, but to me, I just think 9.5 is too many points. I think, generally speaking, betting like more than touchdown favorites for two like mediocre teams. I mean, one of them's a bad team. The other one's a mediocre team. I know New Orleans blew out New England when they played them, but I honestly don't see New Orleans blowing out a lot of teams. I think a lot of how they play is conducive to close games, and I think 9.5 points is just a lot.
Basically, the way I rationalize this is you're getting a middle to below average offense with a bad head coach as 9.5 point favorites. I'm going to take the other side to cover every single time in that situation. Like Derek Carr is not the type of quarterback that's going to cover this frequently. Dennis Allen's not the type of coach that's going to, want to blow a team out, like you kind of said. It's kind of seems like maybe they're up by 6 all game and they kick a field goal to go up 9 at the best case scenario to like put it two possessions. It doesn't feel like they're going to be, 31-17 up at any point.
Yeah, I feel like the only way that this spread gets out of hand is if Bagent just turns the ball over like crazy, which he hasn't really done so far. He's been kind of decent with the football at protecting it, and he seems to just run rather than, throwing it into harm's way or whatever. So I like the Bears to cover 9.5 against New Orleans Saints. Your lock of the week? What do you got? I actually bet on both of these. So I have a 4-leg parlay with both of our locks of the week in it.
Yeah, my lock of the week, and it's funny because I believe the sharps were like 99% of the money was on this side. And it makes sense because it's the Los Angeles Rams going on the road to play the Green Bay Packers. I love the under 38 in this game. And the way I kind of rationalize this right now is, do you see with a full set of confidence, either of these teams cracking 20 points?
No, probably not with Brett Rippon starting, which is what looks like is going to happen for the Los Angeles Rams. If Stafford was playing, I think the spread would probably be like 41.5 or something like that. And I think Rippon, the last time we've seen him, he's kind of just been like a check down Charlie, not really going to put the ball into harm's way, which could work with the Rams offense because they have Nakua and, Kupp, and those guys can do a lot on their own. But I mean, Jordan Love, it feels like he's put up like 3 points in the first half of every game this year. And the Packers, like, offense in general, like it's a struggle to get to 15 every week, it seems like.
No, it's their offense is a complete mess right now. Also, what it's worth, I broke down the matchup on the running back start sit video, but the way to beat the Packers this year is quite simply just been to run the ball. And the way Royce Freeman played last week, obviously Darrell Henderson contributing in that result as well, on top of having a backup quarterback in this game, like McVay knows he's not going to win a 41-34 shootout with Brett Rippon. He knows he has to slow this game down. He knows he has to lean on the run game. And like I kind of said, they have a nice advantage this week going up against that Packers run D.
Yeah, I'm actually looking real quick. I want to see what the combined pace of these two teams are because I'm sure it's not very high. I'm going to, in our weekly rankings, you guys can check that out on any given week. Yeah, the Packers and the Rams game is the second slowest pace of place game all week this week. The only one that's slower is actually the Seahawks and Ravens, who both like to kind of slow the game down as well. So yeah, not a game environment very conducive to points. It looks like the sharps like the under. I like the under. You got, one backup quarterback and a guy that might be a backup quarterback for the rest of his career after this, and Jordan Love. So not a great situation for fantasy production. Aaron Jones, I'm firing up. Christian Watson's a fine flex play. And of course, you're starting Kupp and Nakua and maybe one of those running backs if you're desperate. But for the most part, I'd probably just avoid starting the quarterbacks, especially. And most of the other players in this game, maybe take the defenses instead. So underdog picks of the week. Of course, check out our sponsors over at Underdog Fantasy. We'll probably build out a pick'em line. I actually tweeted one out on Thursday night heading into the game. I was like, hey, we got a Derrick Henry pick'em special. And I tweeted out three props that I liked on Underdog there, and it actually ended up hitting. So if you guys would have tailed that would have been 10 extra cash. Underdog pick of the week for me is Buffalo money line against Cincinnati Bengals. Kind of a low-hanging fruit pick. I think Buffalo can beat any team, whether they're on the road or at home. But they are 2.5-point underdogs in this game going to Cincinnati. And Cincinnati has kind of had their number, especially in the playoffs recently. They've been well matched up. We didn't get to see obviously how the game would have went last year because of the whole Damar Hamlin situation. But I think Buffalo money line is something that I'm taking. Both of these quarterbacks played really, really well last week. So that's the exciting matchup. Like as much as this game on Sunday morning was supposed to be really, really fireworks, not really turning out that way right now. I'm way more excited for this game than I was about the other one, mainly because I have a lot of Burrow and Allen in fantasy leagues. But
yeah, and it's really fascinating. I'm glad you mentioned. I'm glad we get to talk about this game for the most part because both the teams are desperate, and it's crazy to say that on a week 9 regular season game. But if you're looking at the implications right now in terms of playoffs, whoever loses this game has 4 losses. It's tough for you to get a home field advantage game with 4 losses through this point of the season. So the Bengals know, and they're right. They have to keep pace with the Ravens. Obviously, the Dolphins are losing today, but the Bills know they have to keep pace with the Dolphins. I'm really fascinated. And when it's that type of coin flip game, like just give me the team that's getting points. So I like your side there. I don't mind that underdog pick. It's kind of weird calling the Bills an underdog, knowing they're ceiling on any given week. But yeah, no, I do like that pick. Transitioning to mine, though, my underdog pick of the week. And I'm just going to trust, in my opinion, the better quarterback, Bryce Young. Carolina Panthers getting 2.5 points at home. I think they went straight up in this game. Obviously, they started the season incredibly soft. Didn't really look good all around. Bryce Young was kind of struggling. But through recent weeks, Bryce Young has progressed a lot as a passer. Obviously, Adam Thielen's going to be able to move the ball on the outside there. Jonathan Mingo had his best game as a pro this past week. I feel like the weapons group as a whole is finally starting to materialize for this Carolina Panthers team. And I think we can just transition it to another reason why I think they're going to win this game with my going nuts pick of the week, because there's complete correlation here. Chuba Hubbard, running back of the Carolina Panthers, he is the superior talent, in my opinion, to Miles Sanders. It's so funny all offseason we heard, follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. Well, guess what? If you're not performing, the team will perform, or the team will put in the better player. And Chuba Hubbard has been objectively better than Miles Sanders this week, was treated like the starter this past week, got the usage. Frank Reich went on record to say that Chuba is our starting running back, and I do think he delivers. He's my RB17 on the week, but I would not be shocked if he was an RB1 on the slate.
Yeah, for me, like cost allocation wise, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense for Carolina to sign Miles Sanders. It felt like they were just doing it to make sure that their future quarterback would be set up for success. In my opinion, it would have made way more sense to sign DeAndre Hopkins, who's went to Clemson. Obviously, he's native to that area, and have him and Adam Thielen to groom your young quarterback and use Chuba Hubbard, maybe draft a guy in round 3, round 4, or something like that, like a Roshan Johnson or something to go along with Chuba Hubbard. That would have made way more sense, but I mean, yeah, Chuba Hubbard is a good option this week. Again, going nuts the way that these work for us. If you guys think Danny should get 3 points, if Chuba Hubbard goes over 20 PPR points, if you that's like a bold, he gets the most points because it's bold. 2 points is medium boldness on the Scoville units scale, and then 1 is like we're probably projecting him for 20 plus PPR points. I personally would probably give you a 3-pointer for Chuba Hubbard, but we'll see what the audience decide. I am 1-7 on my going nuts picks this year. I've by far been the worst in this category than I have been in the other ones. Yeah. And also like half the players I've picked have like had serious injuries after I've told them that they were going nuts. So I really, really hope that is not the case for this next player, but I'm just going to go with Bijan Robinson. I think this is the bounce back game for him. I think he finally gets his rushing touchdown, his 100-yard rushing game, and a couple catches here and there. Maybe breaks a long one in this one. So I do think we're going to get the Falcons bounce back here, especially on the ground, because they have been pretty bad at running the ball the last couple weeks, and they've been relying on Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke to throw the ball. And I think having Taylor Heineke back there will help the running game because he's much better than Desmond Ridder at throwing the ball. And it sucks that you don't have Drake London in this game, but that could mean more targets for Bijan Robinson. So let me know what you guys think down below. Is that a 1-pointer, a 2-pointer, or a 3-pointer? It's on the fringe for me because, I mean, hypothetically, it should be a 1-pointer because it's Bijan Robinson, but he also hasn't performed recently. So we'll see what you guys give me down there. And then the last superlative of the week, and we'll get into your questions here. Let's go with our safe plays of the week. I'm rolling with Zay Flowers here. I know the game environment, like I said, is not expected to be super, super good, but he feels like he's so close to a big game every single week. He's getting the targets. He's getting the usage. So Zay Flowers is just the type of guy that I think you can comfortably project for like 7, 8, 9 targets a week. And that's like the definition of a safe player. So for him to hit, obviously he needs to finish inside the top 24 wide receivers this week. And I think, in PPR leagues, you're getting there with like 5, 6 catches, 75 yards, maybe finds the end zone.
Yeah, very similar case for me. My safe play of the week is literally just Michael Pittman Jr. I guess I'm just sticking with this Carolina-Indianapolis game because literally 3 of my picks have to do with that game. But Michael Pittman, we know he's the number 1, number 2, number 3 read in that offense. I mean, we've seen in recent weeks the target share he's been able to command. I mean, he's pretty much a lock at this point for 10 targets, 7 receptions, 70 yards. Maybe he finds the end zone, but I don't even need him to find the end zone because let's be honest, 14 PPR points will get you to wide receiver 2 status.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes total sense to me. One thing I actually forgot to do, if you guys are using our matchup charts and our weekly rankings, I actually forgot to put the shadow matchups in the matchup chart this week. I didn't actually realize that until just now. L'Jarius Sneed is kind of clamping Tyreek Hill, as you guys have probably seen. That was one of the projected shadow matchups. We are expected to see Devontae Adams versus Deonte Banks. I have no questions that Devontae Adams can take care of him. And then some of the tougher matchup downgrades, we have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown versus the Cowboys secondary. I mean, hypothetically, this should be a high-scoring game, so I'm not overly worried, but those guys, should limit them, I would say.
Real quick
Chargers,
on that.
What's up?
I was just going to say real quick on that, adding to that, obviously, I mean, A.J. Brown is going to be a top 5 wide receiver regardless of the matchup based on how he's playing right now. The other thing that is a fascinating tidbit is this feels like the type of game where the Cowboys might miss Trayvon Diggs a little bit. Cowboys run man coverage at the highest rate in the entire NFL. And name me a better receiver outside of maybe Tyreek Hill at beating man coverage than A.J. Brown.
I can't name you 2 better ones, to be honest, with Devontae Smith as well, because he's also very good at beating man coverage. So, yeah, a couple other tough matchups. The Chargers wide receivers, Palmer's been already listed out. Keenan Allen should have an okay matchup in the slot, but don't get cute and start Quentin Johnston. The Ravens wide receivers, I already kind of talked about it with Zay Flowers, but I do think he can kind of get things done. Seahawks wide receivers in the same game. They have a tough matchup against the Ravens secondary, so maybe don't play JSN this week and limit expectations for DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. DJ Moore has a tough matchup versus the Saints secondary. And then we have some advantageous matchups. The Cowboys wide receivers are all kind of in pretty decent position. Demario Douglas has a good spot here against the Commanders. And then Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore also have pretty good matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. So those were our superlatives. Those are some, tidbits there. Now let's get into some questions here because we are going to rip this, as many questions as we possibly can.
Puka, Lockett, Downs, Collins, start 2 PPR. I believe my highest 2 here would be Puka and Collins, but Downs and Collins are relatively same range for me.
Yeah, I actually have Lockett surprisingly close to Collins in my rankings as well. But I would still go with Collins. I will say, like, Collins is a big physical receiver. The Buccaneers have big physical outside corners. It might be a bit of a tougher matchup. But I still think I'm rolling with Puka and Collins. Just give me the target shares that those guys provide.
And I mean, on the flip side, from a matchup standpoint, the Lockett does also play the number 1 ranked defense in DVOA this week against Baltimore. So
also, Jalen Waddle was just missed for like a 45-yard touchdown, which would have really helped our FFPC team, which is nice.
Oh, so I must be behind then because I'm seeing the play on the 41-yard line right now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just about to happen. Yep, he's scrambling out. Okay, Tua just fell for like a 1-yard gain and got a flag.
Yeah, no, it was the play right before that.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it then. My bad. Flex, Downs, Myers, Jones, Watson, Henderson, Dell.
So I think I'd roll with Jacoby Myers here. I'm assuming that's Aaron Jones.
Oh, I'd go Downs over Myers for sure. I don't want to deal with Daniel O'Connell this week.
I personally wouldn't because I think Myers is an easy target to hit and O'Connell can do that. And Downs is coming into the game questionable with a knee injury. So I'd probably just use that as the tiebreaker. Also would like to get Aaron Jones in my lineup. Yeah. It sounds like he might get some decent usage this week. I wouldn't be totally opposed to just using Aaron Jones instead.
Oh, I would much prefer Aaron Jones to either of these guys. I actually didn't see Aaron Jones. So
I'm assuming that's Aaron Jones. I'm trying to think what other Jones that would be, but
if that's Aaron Jones, I mean, he's a top 20 running back this week pretty easily.
Yeah. It would be between Jones and Myers probably, but I think I would actually roll Jones.
Yeah, I'd go Jones over Myers. I would still go Downs over Myers personally. I think he, by all reports, it sounds like he's going to be fine in this game. And I mean, like Aiden O'Connell, I just don't trust, to be honest. Start 2 standard, Watson, Addison, Pittman. I have Keenan at my flex. I mean, you're sitting Watson.
I'm sitting Christian Watson there.
Yeah. Hashtag Danny Strong, LOL. Appreciate that. He says, any changes you make? Carr, Bijan, Eckler, AJ, Higgins, Chuba, Aubrey, Cleveland. His bench is Roshan, Charbonnet, Singletary.
I mean, the only change you could possibly make is sitting Chuba for any of those other guys, and I would definitely rather play Chuba than Singletary. Where do you have Singletary ranked this week, just out of curiosity?
RB23 he slotted in at, or RB22, sorry.
Yeah. So, let me ask you this, because I actually have this kind of decision in my home league. I have Calvin Ridley, Brandon Ayuk, and Drake London out. So 3 of my top
Okay.
4 receivers. T. Higgins is my only top guy that I have in. So right now, in my flex, my decision is I have to start 2 of these 3 players. So, my league scoring, it's a half point per, first down to running backs. It's full PPR, big play bonuses. Tyler Boyd is one of my options. I also have Devin Singletary, and I have Keontae Ingram with DeMercado
Singletary.
out. I have to start 2 of them. So my thought process is I'm going to roll with Boyd and Singletary, I think.
Yes.
But the thing that's making me hesitant on Boyd is the fact that, there's bonuses for running backs. DeMercado is out with Keontae Ingram. And also, I'm already starting Higgins, too. So
fair. I understand it. I had Keontae Ingram as my RB30 on the week for what it's worth because of the usage that he should see in this game. However, I don't feel fully confident he's guaranteed to see that volume.
I think Tony Jones could be involved. It's also the fucking Cardinals offense playing against the Browns defense. Like, it's not a really good game environment. Like, if he had a good matchup, I think I would probably roll with him over Boyd. But
sub 13 implied points.
The Browns defense is pretty solid against the run. So I'm not like the Browns right now. Let me see where they actually rank. They're like a little worse against the run than they are against the pass, but they're 9th in adjusted fantasy points allowed to running back. So like they're still top 10 run defense.
Not to mention, I mean, the Cardinals are implied for less than 13 points in this game.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want.
Like
I don't want to.
Clayton Tune.
Tiebreaker.
Honestly,
I don't want.
Like Josh Dobbs is probably a large upgrade over Clayton Tune. To be honest, like this could be a really low scoring game.
Tiebreaker. I don't want to watch the Cardinals Browns game.
Exactly. 38 points. Also, while we're talking about 38-point over-unders that are locks to hit the under, this one might be a lock to hit the under as well. Especially, I don't care if Deshaun Watson is playing, man. The guy's played probably about as well as Clayton Tune.
Dude, that's another fascinating one. The Browns are implied for like 25 points in this game. And it's like, what? Like they're literally like a top 5 team in terms of implied points this week.
Which is fucking crazy. Can we pose the question, like, when is it time to absolutely sewer Deshaun Watson in the Dynasty quarterback rankings?
I need to see how he looks when he's healthy. Because, like, for what it's worth, from a fantasy point scoring perspective, even when he was healthy this year, he was still giving you like about 20 points per game almost. So, like, he wasn't like objectively
I guess,
off
but like his value is also tied to his contract and his starting job and all that kind of stuff. Like right now, would you rather have Deshaun Watson? I'm assuming you would take all 3 rookie quarterbacks over Deshaun Watson, right?
Yes.
Would you take Will Levis over him as the 4th?
That's where the discussion point happens. And I think based on how Levis has looked, I think at this point on the market, they're going to prefer Levis. So I would take Levis. Plus, not to mention.
So let me ask you about the other veterans. Would you rather have Jared Goff or Deshaun Watson?
That's about the range. I think 15 to 20 area. And depends, like how much risk am I trying to take on this roster? Do I need to swing for the fences and try to get a big appreciating asset? Or am I a playoff contending team and I can use that quarterback 2 production, which I would use with Jared Goff? That's a big dilemma, I think, in Dynasty that people don't bring enough attention to, is the context for the profiles that you want to have on your team have more so to do as well with the other bets you're making on that team. Like if you're taking a ton of risky bets on a single profile, you don't want to completely sewer your team if they don't work out. However, at the same time, if you have no needle moving players and you want to go swing for a guy that could potentially be a top 12 quarterback, I don't mind making that type of move because, again, it's a deflated cost at this point, right? So it's tough. I would probably take Goff surface level, knowing what he's being able to do now. But like, I do think that's the tier that we're talking about here.
Yeah. So I like the tier that I have Goff in, is like a mini tier. So I have Purdy, Fields, Bryce Young, and Dak Prescott in a slight tier above these guys, but I have Watson, Will Levis, Jared Goff, and Sam Howell in a tier there because I'm like, I don't know what to do with these guys. Like I would
take Watson over Howell for sure.
I have him over Howell, but like it's,
okay.
I think they're probably within the same tier, to be honest, because Howell has performed at a very high level from a fantasy perspective. The question for him is just kind of job security related.
And that's a little, I mean, I guess you can make the case that, I guess Watson's job security isn't at risk because of the contract. He's probably going to get at least 1 more full year there. But with Sam Howell, I believe they've played 8 games so far. In 7 of those 8 games, he's taken 4+ sacks.
Yeah, no, he has work to do, but it is also his first year starting. And I think he's shown more good than bad. To the point that if they start, kind of winning some games, maybe it's tough because they just traded away their best 2 pass rushers. So it's probably not likely that they're going to get better.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's fascinating though. That's a good topic of discussion.
Yeah. Sports Dude says in a 20-man league, would you start Akers or Algier? I would definitely go Algier, I think.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, I don't
similar
really
range,
trust
but
either
yeah.
offense, but I know that Arthur Smith runs a lot in the red zone. If the Falcons and Taylor Heineke can move the ball, I think that Algier has a chance to punch in a touchdown more so than Akers. Even though Akers had one last week, I think Algier is
Uh,
probably more likely to score.
yeah, I would agree there. We got a super from Kyle. He also has a question here. You'd start Stroud over Watson this week.
Yeah, I
Let me
would.
see where I have them ranked. Um, I have CJ Stroud at 8. So yeah, I would go with CJ Stroud.
Also,
This,
two quick updates, by the way. Tomorrow, I believe I want to drop a rest of season rankings update. Maybe like some players that are moving up, or maybe a full on like rest of season rankings. Let me know what you guys want to see, and then also sweeping update to the Dynasty manifesto also this week, as well as the trade value chart that's within the Dynasty rankings manifesto. Because I think a lot of things, especially this Will Levis situation, like that's definitely impacted since we last updated, which was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Will Levis, for what it's worth, like I think he was like keep trade cuts like quarterback 34 before he started games, and I think I've had him in the top 25 the whole time.
yeah.
So I thought the gamble that you were taking on him for like a late first round, early second round price tag in rookie drafts was 100% worth it, and at least so far it's paid off because you could cash out for more than that now, I think.
And I feel like it's funny because were we high on Levis as like as a pure prospect? Not the
No, I
highest, I
did a
would say.
film breakdown
That's what I mean.
in the Discord with everybody, and we were all like, dude, what the hell, like, even is this guy? Like, we
But
can't really figure him out. We know he has a strong arm. We know he can, make a
utter
throw from any
structure
platform, but it also looks like he, like, sometimes just straight up can't
mentally.
play quarterback.
Yeah, no, but what I was trying to say there is there was film analysts like NFL draft guys that were higher on him than us. However,
Kuiper had him as the QB1 in the class.
but I was gonna say is our sentiment was always if you're getting him at the 1-2 turn, it doesn't matter what I think of this guy. Like he's still got a lot of upside. He's still got the arm talent. He was still the 33rd pick. There was some people in the dynasty community that were tanking this guy to the mid to late second round because they simply didn't like him. And I felt like that bias was always wrong. I always thought if he was available at the 110, 111, 112 area, he was worth the gamble at that spot. So although we were like not the highest of him from like, a prospect standpoint, I got a couple shares because he was just going so cheap in some drafts.
Yeah, I actually surprisingly didn't get a single share of him. I didn't have any
I got him in
110,
the Debbie League.
111s or 112s. The only time I was able to get any of like Charbonnet, A-Chain, or Levis, which was kind of that late first round, early second round tier, was if one of them fell. Because for some reason,
Yeah.
I had a bunch of 108, 109s, and 202s and 203s, but I didn't have any 110 to 201s. I don't really know how that worked, but that's kind of what happened to me in rookie drafts.
Well, I think I got him in the 8th round of our Debbie startup. And for the record, if my quarterbacks work out in that league, they are absolute units. I have
Mahomes just got absolutely rinsed on the sideline trying to run
I
out,
saw that
run out of bounds there.
people are beef in the Dolphin sideline now, but so I got Will Levis, obviously. Anthony Richardson, when he's going to be sitting this year, and I don't mind because I'm not completely competing right now. And then I have Drake May coming in the fold. So May, Richardson, and Levis has got a chance to be special.
I'm still mad at myself for taking KJ Jefferson over Michael Penix because I was going to do it. I was literally I'm like, I have Penix and Jefferson closer. I should have done it in the Debbie draft because I would have had Michael Penix, Jackson Dart, and Shadur Sanders as my Debbie quarterbacks to go along with Trevor Lawrence and Dak Prescott and Sam Howell, who are my NFL quarterbacks right now.
By the way, quick note, there's a running back that's not even rostered in our league that's been popping off. The OK State running back, Ollie Gordon. He's been
nobody picked Audric Estime, I don't think either.
Nope. Like there's some names in that pool.
Yeah,
obviously,
we got some. Like, I mean, Odunze wasn't picked either, right?
Yeah, Penix. Yeah, no, there's some names.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, like if you get a high pick, like I mean, we're talking probably like a mid to late first round caliber asset in regular rookie drafts, which is I feel like that's kind of rare for Debbie. I feel like everybody went like I only took 2024 prospects. I think you took. I mean, you have Carnal Tate.
I got one now, Carnal Tate.
Yeah, which, but by the way, for me, I think people taking the risk on like CJ Baxter and stuff and like, Arch Manning and something like, yeah, like that could work out. But honestly, man, like with 2025 and 2026, like just give me the guys that are close to coming out already that I know could be good.
For example, look at Drew Alar, man. Coming into the year, people are like, this is the next Josh Allen. And now people are like, dude, is he even going to be a first round quarterback?
I know. That's what I'm like. That's why I think Debbie is so challenging. And it honestly just whoever you have more information on seems like the best options to take, which for me, like taking my first 3 picks were Malik Neighbors, Emeka Egbuka, and Jatavian Sanders. And I'm like, all 3 of those guys are going to be top 50 NFL draft picks this year. And Neighbors might be a top 10 pick.
The only pick I kind of regret at this point is I took what's his face? I took Donovan Edwards over JJ McCarthy. Knowing
Yeah,
now
it's
that
kind
JJ
of rough.
McCarthy's gonna be a first round quarterback, it's tough.
I still think he's going up or
You
down
gotta watch
depending
him
on
this year, bro.
how he plays against Penn State and how he plays against Ohio State and how he plays against these teams. Because if he plays as well, like even if they don't like win those games, but then he could solidify himself, at least in my opinion, and for most other people. So I think we got
Real
one
quick,
more here. Devi draft. What's that? Yeah, Devi is basically a dynasty startup draft that we did with our couple subscribers and then a couple other
couple
buddies in
friends
the industry like
industry.
Ron Stewart and stuff. And basically,
Ian.
what we did is we drafted 6 current college players and a regular dynasty roster. So our dynasty rosters, obviously, like we have like our young players and that kind of thing. And I've built out kind of a 1-year punt. Danny kind of built out the same type
Thing.
of build in that one. I'd be interested to do another one potentially this offseason with our flock subscribers because it makes Saturdays more entertaining. Like I've been just like absolutely like on cloud 9 the past couple weeks with the way Malik Neighbors has looked. So I mean, having Malik Neighbors on my team has just been so exciting.
I still remember when I took Keon Coleman in the 3rd round, like half the draft was like, who? Like people had no clue who he was, and now he's literally like the wide receiver.
I was pissed when you took Coleman and Benson. I was annoyed with both of those picks because I was like, I wanted both of them. And speaking of, last thing I will say on the 2024 class, and then we can get to questions. Yeah. The 2024 running back class has a little bit of life. I will say, like it looked really bad for a while. Travion Henderson looks healthy. He looks like he could be the best running back in the class. Braylon Allen has been probably the best running back in the class all year. And he was on bye or injured. I can't remember exactly. I think he was injured this past week. Trey Benson, even though he's in a committee, looks good. Raheem Sanders, really finally fucking healthy, actually looked pretty good this past week. And then, we have guys like Devin Neal and Audric Estime and Bucky Irving and like other depth running backs that are filling out the class a little bit.
And I mean, we just talked about Dono. He hasn't had a good year, but at the same time, he seems like somebody that's going to get pushed up by NFL teams because of the
and Corum obviously has kind of been doing his thing too. So I'm sure the NFL will probably value Corum as like the first or third best. Like he'll be a top 3 running back in the NFL's eyes, I would imagine.
Just for his scoring prowess alone, the way this guy converts in the red zone, like he has 20 touchdowns in 9 games, bro. It's insane.
Yeah. He's kind of just like discount Kenneth Walker is the way I look at Corum. That's kind of like how he plays.
There's a lot of, obviously we'll get into the questions right after this. There's a lot of like Charbonnets and A-Chains and those level of prospects, like mid day 2 to like late day 2 type of players, but there's no like Gibbs or Bijan. That's kind of like
that's the 3rd running back class in a row that we've had like this though, which is getting annoying. Like we need 2 or 3, like, I mean, Bijan and Gibbs and those guys have been great and stuff, but like we need like 4 or 5 of those players in a class sometime soon.
I mean, it's
back
tough
landscape around the NFL is going to be
those guys.
Yeah, I mean, like even Gibbs and like Charbonnet caliber guys, like we need 4 or 5 of them in a class, like we saw in 2020 and even 2021. Like we had Etienne, Harrison, and Javonte all were like at least 2nd round caliber assets there. Anyways, Evan at the top here, he says, "Fellas, I've definitely missed you guys this season. Sorry, it's been a rough one, but I've been tuning into all the lives. I have a quick question here. I need to start one. Puka, Downs, and Dell. I'm still starting Puka. There's no way I would sit all day. Really. Like, I get it. It's like Brett Rippon or whatever, but I'm still playing Nakua
all day. Rocket and KJ had crazy runs yesterday and OT to win. Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, fuck me, dude. Tyreek just scored.
Did he? I have him.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I'm like a half second behind you.
Hold on. No, he didn't. He
dropped the pass.
Where did they get 7 points from?
Cedric Wilson earlier.
Oh, right. I totally forgot they were getting. I thought they were losing still, or like scoreless. I mean,
you just gaslit the fuck out of me. I got hyped for a second because I
I saw 7 points and they were at 0 last time I looked at the scoreboard. So I was like, and they were showing a clip of Tyreek like walking back to the huddle or whatever. I'm like, oh, did he just score?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just trolling. So we're caught up there. Let's catch you up.
He said Rocket and KJ had crazy runs yesterday and OT to win. Yeah, they both. I mean, they've both been really disappointing this year, though. Like Arkansas has been really fucking bad, and I thought they could actually be half decent. And I keep screaming from the mountaintops that Jackson Dart is a good quarterback, and nobody seems to care. Because he's gotten better at every little aspect of his game. I think it's mainly because people don't think he'll declare for the draft because he's only 20 years old. But if he does declare, I think he has a chance to really make himself some cash in the pre-draft cycle. But I also could see him going back to Ole Miss for one more year too. So
for sure. But yeah, let's spam these comments. I don't want to, keep talking.
Justin says Godwin, Cooper, Hunt, Ford, Henderson need 3. So Godwin, Cooper are probably locks for me there.
Hunt.
I mean, the Browns backfield is so hard to figure out,
Henderson,
man. Like
Henderson. Henderson.
Are
I
you going to
didn't
go
see that.
Henderson over the
Yeah,
Browns
I'm
running
gonna
backs?
go Henderson. I'm going Hunt over Ford for the record. I didn't see Henderson. Hunt over Ford. The reason being is that Hunt in the last 2 weeks has gotten 100% of the inside the 5 work, and they're 12.5-point favorites in this game.
I guess, but like
25
Ford has also been banged up in that time.
Oh, I agree. But at the same time, it's like, is he still not banged up? Like, I understand he's off the injury report, but at the same time, like, you're playing Arizona, you're 12.5-point favorites. Do you really think they're just going to give him back his workload? I don't necessarily think so.
Yeah, no, I can see that for
I'd go
sure.
Henderson,
I
though.
probably would just roll with Henderson and just avoid the headache. But like at the same time, Henderson's in kind of a split backfield too. So
Oh, he is, yeah, and it did suck because Royce Freeman actually took the goal line carry last week, but I think he'll be fine. I mean, like I kind of mentioned at the top of the show, that Green Bay is not able to stop the run this year, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. What do we got here? Jose says, which three wide receivers? So Kupp, Addison, Amari Cooper, Terry McLaurin, Michael Pittman, Jacoby Myers want to start Kupp, Cooper, McLaurin. What do you think? I would start Pittman over McLaurin.
Yes, and that's the only
And
difference.
I would actually start McLaurin over Cooper, I think.
I would too. Kupp, McLaurin, Pittman.
Yeah, I mean, Addison's tough not getting him in your lineup, but I don't really want to mess with Jaren Hall if I don't have to.
I'm not messing with Jaren Hall. I downgraded Addison to my wide receiver 30 this week. I just don't want to touch it.
Yeah,
and for what it's worth, I have a lot of Jordan Addison across my redraft league, so this is completely unbiased here. Like, I have
Addison in like 4 dynasty leagues and like 17% of my best ball rosters. So I don't like that Kirk Cousins got hurt at all because he was looking like one of the biggest league winners in fantasy.
For sure.
Higgins also, he says, thanks, dudes. Oh, okay, he says Higgins is also a part of this question. So, I mean, T. Higgins is in your lineup then. T. Higgins, Godwin, and Cooper is where I'm going with. If you have T. Higgins,
Godwin, and Cooper. Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, is that the previous question?
Yeah, so like you don't have to mess with the Hunt, Ford, Henderson situation if you just start Higgins and Godwin.
Go Higgins over Hendo.
Yeah. Who should I start in full PPR as my flex? Godwin, Lockett, or Ford? So Ford's not really in the conversation for me just because of the split backfield. It would be between Godwin and Lockett. And I think I probably roll Godwin, especially in full PPR. He's just more consistent target share wise than Lockett has been. Although Lockett has turned it on in recent weeks. The Ravens secondary is just much better than the Texans, though.
Yeah, that's the point here. I mean, Godwin's been getting the targets. Fun fact, I think it was since week 3. Chris Godwin's averaged 15.9 PPR points per game. So he's just been a steady wide receiver too. Obviously, the first few weeks of the season, we were questioning, like, is he still the same player? Like, the efficiency's been bad. Like, what's going on? Obviously, Mike Evans was just blowing everybody out.
Scorching the earth for a couple games. That's basically what happened. Is like Evans and Godwin aren't usually going to have monster games at the same time. That's just not usually what's going to happen. It's usually one or the other. I mean, in Baker's offense, with Tom Brady, maybe, but not in Baker's offense.
That's what I was going to say. Like with Tom Brady, that was a lot more plausible. With Baker Mayfield, it's like, I'm sorry, he's a decent quarterback to feed one guy, but like asking him to do any more than that, you're kind of wishful thinking.
Yeah, and the second you get like a rando Rachaad White, like 7-target game, like somebody's suffering for sure.
Speaking, I almost made him my start of the week. So I actually have Rachaad White as my RB18 this week. Last 2 weeks, 13 targets, 135 receiving yards. And you guys just simply realize, hey, pounding this guy up the middle.
He literally can't run the ball in between the tackles. So I saw a graph on Twitter that was like percentage of runs that go to where they're supposed to go. And then the vertical axis was yards over percentage success rate. So basically it was like, okay, the Bucks, their runs that don't go where they're supposed to is like 17-18% of the time. And their percentage of successful runs was 0%. They had literally not registered a successful run where the running back had to improvise essentially. And the reason for that is because our interior offensive line gets blown back on every single fucking play. And Rachaad White, Sean Tucker, and Chase Edmonds cannot run between the tackles.
Yeah, no, for sure. By the way, Raheem Mostert touchdown.
That's huge for our FFPC team, actually.
Yeah, I was just going to point that out.
Suffering there for a little bit.
Is there? You got where we left off.
Yeah, so Miami's kind of making a little comeback here. Do you think Puka's value will be higher, lower, or roughly the same this offseason? I would say when he's not playing games, I could imagine people are going to talk themselves out of Puka Nacua. That would be
That's fair. To be fair, I've also baked in his production by the end of the season because he's going to have a strong holding to potentially be offensive.
He's probably going to win offensive rookie of the year at this pace as well.
B, like he's probably going to cross 1,300 yards as a rookie. So I'm kind of baking in the early offseason hype. And then I feel like you kind of said, there's going to be hype early offseason. Rookie wide receiver, 1,300 yards in his rookie season, looks dominant. And then by the end of the offseason, like you're kind of saying, people might say, Is he a product of the system? With Matt Stafford banged up, what's his long-term future? Like, people are going to make excuses, exactly what they did with Amon St. Brown. All I'm going to tell you, because I did see a couple Puka comments later on, all I'm going to say is, like, Puka Nacua, like, he's got to be in that tier with, like, Olave in them, right? He has to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Top
I
10
saw
wide
somebody
receiver.
tweet out a trade that they made. It was like Olave and a third for Puka and a fourth was the trade. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's probably
Fair.
about right. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
technically that would mean Puka was more valuable than Olave, but
I know Ian's very high
I think
on
they're
him, too.
probably relatively in the same range. Like, I can't see it. Like, as much as I love Drake London, like, I would take Puka Nacua over him.
Yeah, I would too. I would easily.
Like, I think it's
like,
close. Like, I love Drake London. I probably have him a little bit higher than you even still do. But I mean, like, we're talking about Jordan Addison as well. Like, both of these guys, these two rookies,
I'm easily taking
they
Puka
are
over
both
Addison.
top 10 to 12 dynasty wide receivers at the lowest.
And I love Addison, but I'm easily taking Puka over him. I am. Like, I am.
Yeah. I wouldn't say easily. They're in the same tier for me, but I would take Puka Nacua over him.
I think Puka for me is a slight tier above, simply because I'm looking at the facet that, like, dude, he's on pace for literally like 1,300 plus yards.
Dude, he literally might catch like 140 passes.
It's insane.
Season, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Who would have thought that coming into the year we would have been talking about Puka Nacua as an elite dynasty wide receiver?
You know why I should have seen it coming? Because the guy in my league that does no research just had him on his bench. And this guy lucks into shit all the time. I remember Jalen Waddle's rookie year, he took him like 4 rounds ahead of ADP, and he just decided to be awesome.
Damn.
It's like weird. Like, he'll take. Remember when Robbie Anderson was terrible, and then he had that one really good year?
He had him.
Like, he had him that year. I'm like, this guy lucks ass backwards into a bunch of good seasons out of like mid players. And I'm telling you right now, he has Puka Nacua, and he'll probably not be as good next year because he won't draft Puka Nacua again.
Hopefully he just takes Puka Nacua again, so we can keep enjoying.
Yeah, literally. Edit says, morning fellas, pick one, QJ, Reed, or Shakir. Ugh.
I'm taking QJ here, but at the same time, if Shakir keeps operating like the offense was last week, man, I'm starting Shakir in my home league, for the record. So, like, me saying QJ.
Honest to God, dude, I'm not putting QJ anywhere fucking close to my lineup until he does anything. So I would take Shakir over him.
Really? Palmer's out.
I don't care. QJ isn't good right now. You like, dude, the guy literally like command a target and
He's
win on
good
a
last
route,
week.
and then I'll put you into my lineup.
I mean, he was pretty good last week. 6 targets, 5 for 50. It's not bad.
Is that what we're excited about with QJ?
I mean,
they also play the Jets, who are like really good defense on the outside.
No, that's fair. But at the same time, I mean, there's still implied favorites on the road with Justin Herbert at quarterback. So, I mean, like, that's going to
I guess, but I'll take the high scoring game environment over.
I honestly, I'm not going to fault you for it, dude. I have Khalil Shakir in my lineup this week. And, dude, I saw Matt Harmon break it down, but their offense completely shifted this past week.
He spiked to like 60% of the routes, I think, instead of like the 30% that he was running with Kincaid as the lead 11 personnel guy.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, they were playing a lot of 12 with 2 tight ends on the field because Kincaid was playing the slot. Once they immediately shifted, Kincaid is our starting tight end, Shakir is our starting slot, the offense looked as best as it's ever been.
I hope they continue doing that because I have Kincaid and Allen in my home league. So.
And Harmon broke down like his success rates against coverages this year. And he said, obviously limited sample size, but Shakir so far this year is separating from man 79% rate, zone 83% rate, and press 85% rate. So, like, this isn't just a fluke that he had a big game. Like, he's actually
he was in our sleeper video in the 2022 class.
I remember that.
He was like a pretty decent prospect coming out of Boise State. It was just a matter of like, is he going to get on the field and that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember there was a real debate between him and Gabe Davis at one point when he came in. He's like, oh, is he going to take Gabe Davis's snaps? And obviously Gabe Davis is the 2, but like, if they're both on the field together, I could see games where he outscores Davis.
Just keep Shakir in the slot, man. Like, just let him play in the slot and he'll probably cook. Okay, what else we got here? Matt says Lockett, Singletary, Royce Freeman, or Henderson. I'm rolling Lockett there. In PPR, I just lean with the wide receiver.
Yeah, I'd agree. Tough matchup, but yeah, I agree.
Need one running back and one
Hubbard
flex.
And Puka.
It's Hubbard and Puka for sure.
Yeah, easy. Pacheco.
He says also, would you drop Henderson for Charbonnet since Rams have a bye week next week and Kyron's coming back? So, I mean, it would really depend on what you need. Like, I think this is also good context that you're providing here, like the Rams being on bye and Kyron being back soon. Like, you probably don't need Henderson very long. I would just rather have the upside of Charbonnet, especially if you're in any kind of winning position or, you got a lot of depth already. Like, Charbonnet, like I said on a previous live stream, if every starting running back went down around the league, is Charbonnet the RB1 in fantasy? Like he could be.
He's probably up there,
So
yeah. Real quick on that point, by the way, with Charbonnet. Obviously, this could be a factor with Kenneth Walker dealing with his calf injury last week, which, by the way, I mean, those things just don't go away. So if people are saying he's going to be fully healthy, like it's a lower body injury to a running back. Like that thing can flare up any given time. So I'm not fully counting out that injury, maybe even being an implication on him. With Charbonnet, we did see him out snap. We did see him outperform Kenneth Walker from an efficiency standpoint last year. Apparently, Pete Carroll went on record and he said, like, yeah, like we're going to need to be efficient running the ball. And we like what Charbonnet did. And we like his versatility in the passing game against Baltimore. Like, you're not just going to be able to straight up run between the tackles against them. I think Charbonnet is going to play a lot more than people want this week because of the potential game script we can see in this game.
Yeah, I'm curious. I wish Kenneth Walker was out for this game because I could really use Charbonnet.
I have Charbonnet in my
lineup.
I'm starting him in my home league because Jahmyr Gibbs is on bye, and Leonard Fournette hasn't played or isn't even on the Bills' active roster right now.
So. Yeah, well, I mean, Charbonnet, I guess, would technically also factor into the decision I told you about with Boyd, with Keontae Ingram, with Singletary. I think Boyd and Singletary are probably better plays than Charbonnet, but if I got any kind of word that Charbonnet was going to be the feature back, I would probably play him over Boyd in my flex. But anyways, which tight end should I start? Logan Thomas, Ferguson, or Taysom Hill? I think I have Taysom Hill the highest of these guys.
I do, easily. The thing with Taysom Hill this week is that he's getting usage in every facet of the game. Obviously, he's got the implied upside where if anything were to happen to Derek Carr, he's probably going to take some quarterback snaps, and he rushes the ball. He rushes the ball very efficiently, man.
Especially in the red zone. They like always use him down there.
When they get down inside the 10, you know the ball is going one of two places. It's going to Alvin Kamara or it's going to Taysom Hill. That is the Saints offense.
Yeah. And my Alvin Kamara takes aren't really aging too well from early in the
He's my RB1 this week.
He's been really, really good. So
he's my RB1 on the week.
Yeah, I might have to eat some humble pie on that one.
Give me Chuba there, Scott. I love the matchup for him.
Yeah. Chuba. In PPR, man, I want
Chuba.
Myers.
All right, give me this bet right now.
I want Myers straight over Chuba in PPR.
Are we making two Myers bets? What was the other one we had? I just know Chuba.
Yeah, we can roll with this one here.
Fair. I guess we only have one bet so far this week. We got to start making.
Yeah, we got to make some more here. Do you want to do Shakir versus QJ?
No. I want Shakir to win that.
Yeah,
I have him.
Pick one PPR: Darrell Henderson, Dobbs, Mingo, or Quentin Johnston. I'm probably going Darrell Henderson there.
Got to go Darrell Henderson. Yeah.
All disgusting options, though. I'm not gonna lie. Drop Darren Waller if you have Kincaid and you're on the bubble to make playoffs. Yeah, is Waller droppable?
He's IR,
on IR for week 14.
Yep, he's IR, man. If you don't have an IR spot, salute, brother. It's a shit offense, anyways. And even when you come back, you're not guaranteed to even play when you come back because your hamstrings are made of jello.
He's not gonna come back and play 95% of the snaps in the first game. He'll probably get worked back into the lineup. I'm glad because I was starting to get really high on Darren Waller at one point in the offseason. I'm glad I cooled that down. I'm like, I gotta make sure this is a price sensitive high on Darren Waller take because he went the 4th round of my home league, and I was like, that is fucking ridiculous.
Dude, he went at the beginning of the 4th round in my home league. He went on the 3-4 turn.
Yeah, and I guess technically my home league's a tight end premium, and
mine isn't.
0.5 for first downs for a guy like Waller in his hypothetical upside scenario would have been really good. But I was like, dude, if I can get Goddard and Kittle and Pitts in round 7, why the hell would I take Darren Waller in round 4?
By the way, quick note, shout out, Scott. You guys do this to me every week. That just means you have good questions, to be honest. If we both are confident with answers on either side, obviously, I apologize. We wish we could help you on that case more, but that means you're asking valid questions. Because sometimes
I still think the floor and the ceiling favors Myers because it's full PPR. He has a higher floor because he's been really good at times.
Chuba is my going nuts, and they have a great matchup. They're at home. Every sharp is on
still the Carolina Panthers offense. I don't think we should pretend that they're better than the Raiders by much.
I'm taking Bryce Young over Aiden O'Connell. That's a deciding
here's
factor.
The thing you're under. Yeah, I'm taking Bryce Young over Aiden O'Connell as well, but I'm taking Aiden O'Connell with Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, and Jacoby Myers over the offense of the Carolina Panthers.
Sure.
And but it's the fuck Josh McDaniels game too. They just fired their coach, and I could see them, popping off here. And I actually have one of my parlays is the Bears covering the spread, the Packers hitting the under, the Texans money line, because I do not believe in my Buccaneers at all. And the other one is the Raiders cover the spread, because I think this is the hammer the Raiders because they fired their coach game.
So I have two I want to bring up. First of all, Chuba Hubbard, 20 touches against a Colts defense without Grover Stewart. I just can't go against that. And B, I have to ask you, because the Sharps are really divided on this right now. I was watching a lot of content throughout the week. Where do you lie on the Philadelphia -3 line? Because it's literally been a 50-50 in terms of sharp money.
I think, I mean, it's very accurate. I mean, I think they're even, like relatively even teams on a neutral field. So you get the Eagles at home. I think I probably lean with Philly -3 because the Cowboys have been much more inconsistent, especially when they play good teams. So I take the Eagles. But I mean, it's a division game. Like, I think it'll probably be relatively close. Like, I don't anticipate either team blowing the other one out. And in that case, I kind of want to just take the points.
I keep coming back to it. Again, I'm obviously, confident because we play Philly well, but at the same time, it's like we're probably going to split. So if we win this game, like, do I really expect us to lose at home? But at the same time, it's like, if we don't, like, I wouldn't be shocked if we just don't win this game and then we won at home. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know which one we're going to win, and I don't know which one they're going to win, is basically what I'm trying to say with this. Now, the swing factor here is obviously with Jalen Hurts' knee. If he's not going to be able to extend the play, get out of the pocket, like, that pass rush is going to tee off on him. So that's what I'm kind of concerned about. I'm like, how exactly healthy is Hurts' knee? It's literally 50-50 for me right now. I actually don't know where to lean, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Reese super chats here. He says Romeo or Christian Watson. I mean, I'm gonna play the better receiver which is Christian Watson. Watson hasn't been really good this year. Like, I mean, he's got a 20+% target share in 2 of his last 3 games, though, when he's been running full of the full allotment of routes. Jordan Love just needs to, like, literally not be complete dog shit, and I think Christian Watson will be probably solid, because it's weird. Jordan Love was good at the beginning of the season when Watson wasn't there and Aaron Jones wasn't there. Like, I don't know why now that Watson and Aaron Jones are back, we're talking about a worse Packers offense. Like, they're the best 2 players on the offense.
Yeah, it is fascinating for sure. You guys have TD picks, specifically any prize picks, combo, touchdown props?
So we'll build out an underdog slip, and also maybe I'll let you guys send out give me three touchdown scores this week, and I will I'll put some money on it on DraftKings Sportsbook. So give me 3 touchdown scores. Nobody with like a -150 or better odds to score, though. So, like, don't give me like Christian McCaffrey, or I guess he's on bye, but like, don't give me like somebody like that. Like, give me somebody that's like a little bit less likely to score.
I mean, I am curious to see what Tony Pollard's scoring bet is right now.
It's probably money, I think. He'd be the perfect example of like somebody like that.
He's interesting to me because, again, like, do I think he's going to have down-to-down success rushing at the Eagles front? Absolutely not. But I do expect the Cowboys to get in the red zone. I do expect them to be able to move the ball in the passing game. And obviously,
God, I fucking hope so, dude, because Tony Pollard has been awful for my team.
He's been awful
since I've traded for him.
Same. I've had him all year, so I feel that sentiment. However, it feels sneaky because everybody's going to talk. Oh, Mostert just fumbled. Okay. It's been crazy because obviously the matchup is terrible, but I wouldn't just be shocked if Pollard paid off this week because he scored 2 touchdowns. Like, Dak got them down there. CeeDee Lamb got stopped on the 3-yard line and Pollard pounded it in.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, that none of that has materialized this year. Like, you think that would happen a lot.
But because everybody's starting to
hasn't.
But that's what I mean. Because everybody's starting to flip their expectation of Pollard in the run game, I feel like this is just like the squeaky wheel game. I don't know what it is, man. Like, I know the matchup would completely disagree with that, but like, do I think he's going to be efficient on the ground? No. Can he score 1 to 2 rushing touchdowns and be the RB5 on the week? I think he can.
Yeah.
Dude, Tua looks so awkward sometimes out of the pocket.
I know. He's weird at moments.
Standard, Ferguson or McBride? In a standard league, I'm going Ferguson because of the implied points. In a PPR, I would go McBride, but in a standard, give me Ferguson because the Cowboys are going to have double the implied points that the Cardinals do this week.
Yeah, standard, I mean, I think I go McBride regardless, to be honest.
In a standard?
Yeah.
In a standard, all that matters is touchdowns.
For sure, but like, I also think that McBride is a big part of his red zone offense, and maybe Ferguson is as well, but like, I think it's just better bet to get the guy that has a better share of his offense to score.
And that's fair. Again, in a full PPR, I lean that way. But like when it comes to the Cardinals offense versus the Cowboys offense, the Cardinals going up against the Browns, the Cowboys who have an advantageous passing matchup against the Eagles. Like I'm just going with the guy more likely to score a touchdown, which I think is easily Ferguson.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't fault you for that. I think that's
Yeah.
probably like a toss up.
Is there, by the way, speaking of Pollard touchdown, Smooth Criminals right on the same page. Kincaid, Adams, and Pollard scoring.
Okay,
I like
yeah.
that.
Well, I'll build it out at the end of the stream with like 5 minutes left or whatever, and we'll get that going.
Sounds good. So we're all caught up at the bottom here. You can go back to the top.
At supers.
We're all caught up on supers. I just
Okay,
read
perfect.
through Alfredo's. Actually,
I
no,
think
we got one more. We got one more. I missed Kyle. My apologies. It was 12:08. Okay, we must have been watching the game. Wandale, Crowder, Shakir. Give me Shakir, man. Give me close Shakir. If they're gonna keep running the same type of offensive personnel that they did last week, Shakir is got sneaky upside, man.
Yeah,
He's got a lot
these
of
other two
upside.
options are just sexless picks. So I will go with Shakir as well.
Yeah. Appreciate the super chat, by the way, Kyle. My apologies. I missed it at first.
Yeah. So back up to 11:20 a.m. If you guys are wondering where we are at right now, Leonardo says, "Good morning, boys. PPR start: Michael Thomas, Dotson, Quentin Johnston, Moss, Roschon." Okay, all these options are kind of gross. Not gonna lie. I think my best options here are probably Watson and Dotson.
How many is he starting?
He said, I think it's just one.
Oh, if it's one,
I think I'm gonna just roll with Watson, but
Moss.
I'm not playing Moss after him
Really?
taking a decline in snap share this past week. I'd probably just go with Watson, especially in PPR.
Where do you have him ranked this week, Zach Moss?
Let me actually.
Like he's a fringe top 25 running back for me, dude.
I have him 28. So
okay, so
he's not a horrible option, but I would much rather start a top 35 wide receiver like Christian Watson or Jahan Dotson in PPR than a top.
The thing is, I don't have those guys ranked that high.
Okay, well, I have Dotson especially, and Watson. I think we get a bounce back week out of Christian Watson this week, so I'm gonna roll with Watson.
No, I don't mind that. It's a good process. I will say though, I do like that matchup, that game environment for Zach Moss this week. So, but yeah, no, it's probably the wide receiver in a PPR. I agree with that.
Yeah,
fascinating though. We're talking about we're advocating of Zach Moss being a top 30 running back with JT on the field. Who would have thought?
Yeah, literally.
Who would have thought? Half PPR, one wide receiver, one flex between Terry, Gabe Davis, or Amari Cooper. Oh, these guys are like back to back in my rankings right now, dude. And a half PPR, I love the big play upside of Gabe, but I have it right now. Terry McLaurin 19, Amari Cooper 21, and Gabe Davis at 23. So he'd be my third of this group, but like we're literally talking about 19 to 23 being the whole span of discrepancy between these three.
Yeah, I think I have this Terry, Cooper, and Gabe is how I have this ranked.
Yeah, that's how I have it ranked too.
Yeah, but I actually really like all of them
this
week.
Same. We got another one from Johnny. He says, should I start Dallas D or pick up the Pats, the Vikings, and the Colts? Simply, I understand the matchup is not great because the Eagles offense is obviously great in its own right, but I just don't want to drop the Dallas defense. Like that's also a deciding factor here. Those defenses are not good enough options for me to drop Dallas, knowing that moving forward, they're going to be playing the Giants next week.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Hey guys, how was Mexico? K9 Andrews for Kelsey. So first thing, I mean, you can answer this because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so we went on like a really budget vacation because we were like, my girlfriend's between jobs. She quit her recent job and then she got a new one and she had like 2 weeks off. She's like, hey, do you want to go to Mexico for a couple days and, get away? And I was like, yeah, let's do it or whatever. Unfortunately, we went to a resort that was like not the greatest. And the one we went to in January was much nicer. And we could have went to that one for like less than $100 more. But my thought process was like, oh, let's try something new. It'll, might be better or whatever. But usually that thought process doesn't apply when you're spending less money. It usually, if you're going to spend more money, it might be new, and better. But yeah, I kind of wish we just went back to where we went to in January because it was like a 6 out of 10 vacation. And that never feels good because like obviously vacations aren't cheap.
You want it to be 10. Yeah.
Yeah. You want it to be at least like an 8 out of 10. But like the beach itself wasn't very nice. The resort food was like solid, but not like great. Whereas like in January, the food we had was like unbelievable. The beach was better. And the resort itself was like really nice. And, like our service was great. And, we met some people there and like, that was all cool and stuff. But like, it was just, underwhelming. It was, somebody asked me, compare your Mexico vacation to an NFL player's career. And I said, it was like Jeff George. It was there was flashes of some good moments and a lot of potential, but it was overall underwhelming.
I was gonna say Leonard Fournette.
I mean, that's the modern day Jeff George would be like Jameis Winston or Carson Wentz.
Fair. So yeah, volatile, good at times, bad
Volatile,
at others.
good moments, but overall
Fair enough.
inconsistent and underwhelming.
So basically, like the opposite of Leonard Fournette, because you kind of know what you're getting. It's just kind of mid pack.
Yeah, K9 Andrews for Kelsey. He says here.
I'm taking K9 and Andrews.
I would probably rather have Walker and Andrews, to be honest.
Yeah, same. I obviously Kelsey's phenomenal, but I just don't. I don't value a huge discrepancy between
Walker or Andrews and Kelsey. It's definitely not as big as like a top 12 running back.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you there. So we're caught up there, I believe.
I think there's one more.
We're good. No, I got it. I got all three.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Unless like I'll check here, but
Darrell Henderson or JSN full PPR.
Henderson.
What do you got? You got to lean here.
Henderson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett are both active, and they're going up against Baltimore.
Yeah, that's probably where I'm at as well. But I tend to just lean towards receivers in full PPR, especially when it's like top 28 running back versus top 45 wide receiver. I'm like, give me the upside of the receiver usually. I think I would probably go JSN, to be honest.
Henderson's in my top 24 this week for what it's worth.
I just don't. I think Freeman's going to be involved, and I also don't love the game environment. And I think that fucking Mark Rippon, that's the Redskins quarterback in the 90s. Brett Rippon, I just think he sucks.
I mean, I have both of them in my top 30.
Yeah, I mean, just whatever.
They're both
like it's so sexless. The Rams running backs this week, just sexless plays.
Bro, I just saw a Germany flag with a KC logo on it. What are we doing?
That is wild. Also, quick interruption here. If you guys do want to get some stake in the games this week, new customers on Underdog Fantasy can take advantage of this half total yard special for Lamar Jackson. And real quick, if anybody wants to tail this, I will show you guys what I'm looking at in terms of an Underdog pick'em entry here. So we got Zach Charbonnet, higher than 10.5 receiving yards. I think it's going to be tough sledding up the middle. That might mean Charbonnet is more involved as a receiver. Lamar Jackson, 45.5 rushing yards. I think his career average is like 57 or something like that. So I think that's a good number there.
High profile game against Seattle.
50 and a half. He gets too many targets. I don't care that Brett Rippon sucks, but I think 10 plus targets for Puka Nacua, he should be able to get to 50 receiving yards. And then Jordan Love, he's not a good quarterback. So 209 passing yards. He'll probably have 150 in the second half, but he might have like 30 in the first half. So
fair point. Yeah, no, I do dig that. Pretty solid.
Well, obviously, if you rope in that Lamar Jackson special, I guess you probably wouldn't be able to do another Lamar Jackson bet. But you could win 20x your money, and of course, you could insure your entry to make sure that you only need 4 out of 5. Definitely check that out. Promo code FSE for Underdog Fantasy. Big shout out to them. And then also here, let's. Do we have any more questions? What's up?
I know. I was just gonna say, speaking real quick. You saw the Thursday night special, right?
I did.
George Pickens over half a yard, and he finished -1.
No, the Thursday night special was Henry.
No, there was one that was George Pick. Oh, it was the.
Oh, maybe it wasn't the new customer Thursday night special was Derrick Henry. Maybe it wasn't the new customer one.
There was one I saw Brett Coleman post, and it was George Pickens over half a yard, and he finished with -1. Luckily, I mean, Underdog's just a great brand, and they anybody who used the ticket, despite it going under, they literally just voided it. Like they just reimbursed them. So like they blessed whoever.
Like I wouldn't have done. Like if I was Underdog, I'd be like, she sucks to suck. Like that's what I would have probably thought.
Shout out that they have empathy, man. Because I mean, again, it's a promotional
bad
offer.
Beat. Like not getting half a yard is a bad beat for sure.
It's like now I know why he was being a little menace on the sidelines after the game.
Yeah, dude. Like the second I admit I'm wrong about the guy, he decides to be a knucklehead. I love that.
Dude, and it's like you want to say he's so talented, but at the same time, it's like, dude, if you're gonna have knucklehead factor, I just don't want to trust you.
I know. Like, dude, also, what's up with the Steelers and knucklehead receivers? Like Pickens, Claypool, Juju, AB. Like, what's like? Do they just draft only like?
Seems like a prerequisite on their files, on their profiles.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do we have like a head case receiver in this class? Because he's literally going to Pittsburgh. I mean, that's the case.
They had Martavis Bryant too, no?
Yeah, dude, that's what I mean. Like, what is up with the Steelers and these receivers?
Yeah, no, that's actually jokes. Yeah, who is the knucklehead receiver? Like if Keyshawn Boutte went to school, back to school, I'm sure the fucking Steelers would have been all in.
I'm surprised he wasn't a Steeler after last year's draft.
Facts. We got one here
standard
from Corey.
league. Did you flex DeMar? Okay, yeah, go ahead to that one.
DeMario, DJ, Josh. You're setting DeMario, right?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. Okay, bet.
I'm not willing to buy into the whole Demario Douglas thing yet. Like, I'm not like, well, let's give him some games first.
Yeah. Let's see him turn, what was it, like 8 targets he got? Let's see him turn that into more than 25 yards for me to be truly interested.
Yeah. Also, like, do I want to watch Mac Jones and the Patriots? No, not at all. Standard
Rose
league,
Hip
would you?
Johnson. Sorry, Rose Hip Johnson.
Rose Hip Johnson is an elite name there. Standard league. Honestly, Rashid Shaheed catches like a 50-yard touchdown like once every 3 weeks. So just give me the upside that he fucking does that.
He's not very relevant in managed league, but I kind of told you this summer. I'm like, dude, he's kind of like a good football player a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
he
he's a good best ball
plays.
pick for sure.
Yeah, you know, like he's like just a better Deontay Hardy for that team.
Yeah, he's a good option. Demario Douglas,
Downs.
Josh Downs. Give me Josh Downs. Not even close.
Yep. People are going to ask a lot of Downs because he did have a Q tag coming into the week.
Yeah, he does have a Q tag. He's still. Where do you have him ranked this week? I have him as wide receiver 30 something. I think.
So yeah, he's like wide receiver
32 is where I have him.
He is technically at 28 here, but I haven't fully adjusted him down. But realistically, he would have been behind Rashee Rice. He would have been behind Jordan Addison. He would have been behind Jacoby Myers. He would have been behind Tyler Lockett. He probably would have been above Christian Watson. So I think 33 would have probably been the range I would have had him.
Yeah, that's fair. Atomic Juice says Nico Henderson or Hubbard. PPR flex.
Hubbard for me.
I would take Nico Collins over Hubbard this week in PPR for sure.
I mean, I guess
I'm
just gonna stick to my guy. I guess I got two separate
Chuba. You're just a big Chuba stan this week.
Dude, hey, it's either gonna work out for me because I win these, or it's gonna work out for me because my opponent has him in my home league. So it's like built in WW. I'm getting a W either way.
We got here. Joe says 12-man full PPR. Who should be my flex? Josh Downs, Jacoby Myers, Hubbard, Dotson, Roschon. I'll take Hubbard here.
Yeah, you said Myers over Hubbard earlier.
Yeah, I mean it's literally a toss-up. Like just pick whoever you want. Fair. Honestly,
I'm going Hubbard all day, baby.
So for reference, I have Jacoby Myers at 31, Josh Downs at 32 at my wide receiver rankings, and then I have Chuba Hubbard. I think in the like early 20s. I want to say.
Well, you have Hubbard low. He's my 17.
Let me see where I have him. No, sorry, I have 19. I have him 19. So,
okay.
When we're talking about like top 35 wide receiver versus like back end RB2, that's like generally the range where they blend together, especially in full PPR. Fair. So for me, it would probably be Jacoby Myers, but Chuba Hubbard is like right there with him, and Josh Downs is probably the ceiling play. So
where do you have Gus Edwards ranked this week?
20, right behind Chuba.
I'm at 14.
Yeah, that's psychotic, bro.
Bro, he's been getting the workload.
He has been getting the workload, but I don't know. I'm not ready to buy in yet. Like I wouldn't start him. Like the guys I have ahead of him are like Aaron Jones, like James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson. Like I think those guys are better options.
Okay, well pick which one you want out of that group. I'll give you. I'll take Gus Edwards against.
I'll take Aaron Jones out of that group.
That's fair. We'll do that. Full PPR.
Sure. I actually have to move. I'm going to move Jones up actually a little bit.
Who was the other one that you said? Chuba versus who was the last bet?
Chuba was versus.
I already have Myers. Who was the other one that we talked about?
Nico Collins.
Oh, Collins.
Dobbs versus Moss PPR. I'll take Moss there. Moss, but that's relatively close.
Yeah, give me Moss. Good morning,
GM,
Smooth.
What's going on? I guess it's afternoon, but
yeah,
full PPR, Singletary, Flowers, Amari Cooper, Douglas. Drop one. Okay, so I don't know if this is a start sit question. I think he's just asking who to drop.
Drop Douglas.
Yeah, drop Douglas as well. I mean, if you're not going to use Singletary, I wouldn't say he's like a totally rosterable guy, but like I would just rather hold him, to be honest.
And I think he's a more valuable like cuff than what Douglas is at wide receiver. I would have had him ranked higher than him in my waiver rankings, even when Dameon Pierce was healthy. And B, if he has a big game this week, then you already know that he's going to have more implied value on the market. Because realistically, Demario Douglas, even if he gets 8 to 10 targets, like is he going to be at wide receiver 2 this week? No, I can see Devin Singletary being an RB2 though.
Yeah, no, I like Singletary is probably going to punch one into the end zone, to be honest. I know the Bucs are really good against the run, but Singletary can catch the ball. So
yeah, for sure.
Like,
and he's going to get a workload.
He's going to have a good workload, probably 23 touches or something like that. Minshew or maybe Mayfield. Definitely Mayfield over Minshew this week.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. I'm not fucking with Minshew, dude. He's so erratic.
I guess we're going to do a quarterback one. Let's rock it.
Yeah,
I got Minshew higher. I got Minshew higher. Sorry for not like helping you on that question there, Tim, but I mean we got the quota for bets we got to make every week apparently.
Yeah, Roland says Wandale, Mingo, or Christian Watson. This is Watson, not really all that close for me. I'm lost on who to start between Addison, Puka, and Devontae Smith. You have to only start one of these guys? That's crazy. I mean, you're not starting Addison over those guys. It's going to be Puka or Devontae Smith. Who are you going with over those two guys? I'm probably going to take Smith. I just want the game environment, I think.
With
But those
Stafford
guys
out,
are really close, man.
with Stafford out, that's probably the adjustment I have to make. For the record, I technically in my rankings had Puka higher, but I didn't adjust it with the Stafford news this morning.
I moved Puka down to 19 18
yeah.
with Stafford out. Like I have him just below like Metcalf and T. Higgins and Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I think that's fair. By the way, Raheem Mostert, pretty big run.
Huge.
Hey guys, need a flex play this week. Addison, Downs, Cook, or Aaron Jones? Probably go with the game environment of Cook. Cook and Jones are back to back for me, bro.
Yeah, I also have Cook and Jones back to back. And I mean, as bad as Jaron Hall might be, I don't think Addison's out of this conversation.
I don't think he is, but that's wide receiver 30 versus RB 19. Like that's
I think I'll take James Cook here, but that's close, man. That is really close.
I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt because he's still efficient, but I am a little bit concerned with the increased 11 personnel that they were running and James Cook's lack of involvement in passing. It's weird because he runs a lot of routes, man, but he just doesn't get targets at all. James Cook.
I know.
For a guy that's supposed to be a scat receiving back, he just doesn't get targeted because Josh Allen just doesn't check it down. And I know that's a narrative, but when it comes to Josh Allen, it's actually true. He just doesn't like checking it down.
Also, I'm looking at the guy that we played this week in our FFPC league, Danny, and he has
some weird starts, bro.
Has weird starts. I mean, he has Kittle and ETN on bye, which definitely help us. So he has to start Hunter Henry at tight end, and his RB2 is Cam Akers. So I think we should be okay because I don't think we have anybody on bye this week, right?
No.
Like nobody relevant. At least. Like our whole team was Bengals bye week, right? So
if we win this, I think we're third.
Yeah, which I think, what do we just need to finish fourth or better? Or is it top six?
Fourth,
I think it's fourth or better that we have to finish.
Top two seeds and top two remaining scorers.
Right.
If like the top two seeds don't have the highest points, would make the playoffs. Now the thing is the top two seeds get an automatic berth into the final round, whereas the other two have to compete for the league championship. So it's like we're praying for top two. Obviously, top four is a nice fallback, but we're praying for top two seed.
Yeah, we're fourth in points for right now too. So if our team can start to pick things up record wise, I think we'll be in a good spot.
We're going to get HN back soon. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor's going to start heating up. The Bengals offense has been peaking. Like, if Jalen Waddle also picks it up, which, I mean, I don't like.
Maybe Pitts has a good week this week with London out, too.
And Heineke at quarterback.
Yeah. Cleveland D against Arizona is also pretty nice that we have this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should take the dub this week. I am extremely excited about our team moving forward because I do think we have quite the unit. The fact that we went at 0 RB and our running back core is like JT Swift, who's a JT
Mostert
Swift,
and Achane. Like it's pretty crazy that we literally have Mostert, Achane, Jonathan Taylor, and DeAndre Swift, and we drafted this team on a stream, and a lot of people were like, "How could you not take like these running backs that were on the board?" I'm like, honestly, I think we can get by, and not only have we gotten by, like I mean, Jonathan Taylor, Mostert, Achane, and Swift, like we're talking about like 4 top 15 running backs rest of the season.
You can make the argument that we drafted wide receiver heavy and we still have a much stronger running back core than we do at wide receiver.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
Chase Waddle and those guys haven't really actually been that great. I mean, Chase has been good, but like Waddle hasn't been really.
Yeah, no, he hasn't, and yet we're still fighting for it. So feel good. PPR 1. Oh, we got another one here. Pitts or McBride. They are actually pretty close. Let me see. I think I'd go Pitts with London out now.
Yeah, I would take Pitts as well.
Yeah, I'd go Pitts. You're frozen on my screen. Oh no, you're good. PPR 1, team 1, James Cook or MT. Team 2, Downs or Ford. Are you going with Cook and Downs here?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Cook and Downs as well. Also, I think Raheem just had a nice run as well.
He did. Yeah. I was seeing that. You have
was that the same run?
Yeah. I just pointed it out.
Oh, true. I didn't know.
Oh, wow. Did Tua just throw a pick? Oh, he almost did. Fuck.
Yeah, that was close.
So where we left off.
Yeah, I just gotta find it again here. Alex says full PPR, pick 1, Nakua, Lockett, or Dotson. That's Puka still. I'm still going with Puka Nakua there.
Yes, all day for me.
Whoever's asking
Yeah.
Quentin Johnston questions, I guarantee you I'm going to answer anybody else. Like I'm literally not putting him in my lineup. I literally could care less.
He's not a QJ fan.
Baker, CJ, or Carr. CJ Stroud is the guy I'm rolling with there. Also,
Yes.
I hope Quentin Johnston goes off this week because I have him in way too many dynasty leagues for some reason because I got a million 108s and 109s.
Are you insta selling him if he goes off?
Yeah, I already sold him in one league.
Fair enough. All right.
I was like, this is looking like a face planner type beat, so I got out of there already.
Respectable. By the way, why does Cedric Wilson have one catch for 31 yards and he scored on it? Fuck off.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Has Tony done it? He caught that one pass, and I was like, fuck off. And then he hasn't done anything since. So that's nice.
So yeah, Jeffrey, I'm going with Demario Douglas over QJ there. Cup or Chase? How is this a question, dude? What?
Chase?
How are Chase and Cup a question for you? Like I would.
This
play
has to be
Chase, but like Cup needs to be in your lineup also.
This has to be a shallow dynasty league, like a 3-wide or 2-wide receiver, 1 flex type of league, and he has like CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, or some bullshit. Oh, Tua just fucking absolutely cucked him. Yeah, did you just see that throw?
Yeah, that was whatever the opposite of a piss missile is. It was that.
It's like a fucking. It's like an airbag.
Yeah. Taysom Hill or Jake Ferguson. I'm going Taysom Hill there, Mike.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay defense or Dallas. Have Devontae Smith against Dallas. I think I'd probably go Tampa Bay's defense. I don't really want to fuck with Philly's offense.
Yeah, probably lean that. Now, if you have to drop the Cowboys defense to do that, just keep the Cowboys defense. But if you have 2 defenses, hypothetically, and you're debating which one to start, go Tampa. By the way, you shouldn't have 2 defenses, but you know what I
mean. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you have where we left.
Gift G, what's going on? Jose says, currently have Logan Thomas and Taysom Hill. Should I drop one to pick McBride off of waivers?
Drop Logan Thomas every day of the week. What?
Yeah, I would drop Logan Thomas to pick up McBride, but I would actually start Taysom Hill over McBride this week.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kenny
Strong user.
Puka Addison or Brian. I'm assuming that's Brian Robinson, not Bijan.
Puka.
If that's Bijan, you start Bijan, but I would go with Puka.
I'm assuming that's Brian, right?
Kincaid or Hawkinson? No PPR.
No PPR.
Crazy question. I'm going Hawkinson probably.
No PPR. Give me Kincaid.
Really? You'd start Kincaid over Hawkinson this week?
In a standard league, just give me the game environment of Bills Bengals.
I mean, I feel pretty good knowing that I traded Pitts away for Kincaid, and now we're saying that he might be startable over Hawkinson. But
I mean, like if it's a full PPR, go Hawkinson because the volume we could expect. But in Kincaid, I mean, that's a 50.5 over/under game with Bills Bengals versus Hawkinson having to deal with Jaron Hall.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, he's back from Mexico? Yes, I am. Is Deshaun Watson a plus or minus for Cooper?
No, Tua.
Did you just take it back?
He fumbled the ball on 4th and 10 and got sacked.
kind of like a Derek Carr throwing the ball away situation on 4th and 10.
You need to see this replay. Sorry, I burst out laughing because I'm watching this. What the hell? How do you let that happen on 4th and 10? At least get a throw off for fuck's sakes. Man, look at this shit.
I'm looking.
Did the center just snap it? No, he just dropped it. Oh my.
No, he actually glumbled it. And look at the middle of the field, bro. Tyreek is literally wide open.
Oh, look at Mahomes.
That's literally game-tying touchdown.
Mahomes is just smiling at it.
Tyreek was like actually wide fucking open. Like there was like one deep safety and so much room in front of Tyreek that if you throw him the ball there, he makes one guy miss and he scores.
Dude, I do not want to check Dolphins Twitter after this. People are going to be freaking sending heat missiles at each other.
Yeah, I mean Tua gets really like he there's not a lot of quarterbacks that get more hate than Tua does. Like I respect like, as an outsider that doesn't have any stake or rooting interest in Tua, the guy like if he has one bad series, people call him a bust. Like it's bad.
Dude, I hate to keep bringing my guy in it, but Tua and Dak are literally the most overhated quarterbacks in the league by far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel sorry for Dak he plays for Dallas.
I get it.
Anybody,
it comes with
like
moment.
Mahomes could play for Dallas and like fucking hate on him.
Dude. Well, I mean, look at Romo, right? When he was playing, people hated on him. Ever since he retired, we're like, Romo's actually a pretty good quarterback when he played, eh? Like the half the fucking fan base like that. I'm like, bro, why don't you just appreciate what you have when you have it? You know what I mean?
No, there's certain fan bases it's just like impossible to play quarterback for them. Like the Eagles too. Like Donovan, I've never seen more hate on somebody than Donovan McNabb got in Philadelphia.
Which makes no sense because like Jalen Hurts is like one of the most loved quarterbacks in the media, and Donovan McNabb, people just hated his guts. And it's like, when did that switch up on terms of like how we feel about again?
I mean, leading a team to the Super Bowl in your second
that's
season,
probably part of it, right?
Probably but
McNabb
choked so many times in.
I mean, he lost the
NFC
Super Bowl as well, though.
Games.
He lost the Super Bowl as well to the Pats.
I know, but like prior to that, they lost 3 straight NFC Championship games. Like that would get on your nerves. Like if the Cowboys went to 3 straight NFC Championship games and Dak played like shit in all 3.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Like the one against the Bucks, like McNabb literally got baited by Rondé. Like that was, and
I remember that.
Like, how are you allowing a corner to strip sack you and pick you off for a pick 6 in the same game?
Yeah, that's kind of a power move. But one of them was to the Giants, no?
What, in the NFC Championship?
Was it? Or am I no, the Giants made it in 2000 and they got mollywopped by the Ravens.
They lost to the
it was
they
you
lost
guys.
To the Bucks in the second NFC Championship.
Panthers.
They lost.
Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers in the third NFC Championship that they lost.
And who was the other one? Was it
the
Rams?
It would have been the Rams, yeah, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Unless it was the year after. Unless the Bucks was the first one. Because then it might have been Bucks, Panthers. No, but then the Eagles made the Super Bowl the next year. So
yeah. So it was Rams, Bucks, Panthers in a row. And by the way,
I mean, I don't think anybody should blame them for losing to the 2001 Rams.
No, I mean, come on. You could have made the argument that the 2001 Rams might have been better than 99 ones.
They probably were.
Yeah. But I mean, just Brady was more experienced by then. So like it made it look easy, you know?
Yeah, no, he was literally his first season or second season.
Freaking ridiculous,
crazy,
man.
Anyways, Deshaun Watson, a plus or minus for Cooper. What do we think? Also, I mean, so Bijan, I'm not worried about him. He's a buy low right now. Deshaun Watson, a plus or minus for Cooper? Honestly, I can't answer that question. Like I would say, say yes in theory, but lately, I don't know.
Honest to God, the reason why I say plus is because I saw a week as an Amari Cooper manager in my home league. I saw a week a couple weeks ago where Amari Cooper had 8 targets and I think he had 1 catch for like 11 yards in that game. Like at least with Deshaun Watson, I don't see someone like that happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, will Bijan start performing to first-round capital and redraft? I mean, he's getting the receiving work right now, and I think it was a blip on the radar. He had a cluster headache a couple weeks ago, whatever. Like, he still had 16 opportunities last week, scored a touchdown. Like, I'm not concerned, man. And I think Taylor Heineke adds a lot to this offense than Desmond Ridder.
Yeah. Also, did anybody give us ratings for our Going Nuts picks, by the way?
I didn't see them at all. Yeah, by the way, so Going Nuts picks, for the record, mine is Chuba Hubbard. Corey's is Bijan Robinson on a scale of 1 to 3, 3 being, a hot take, like you don't expect it to happen. 1 being like, okay, it's pretty out there, but like it's not anything crazy. It's kind of, like chicken tenders. Like a 1 is like a chicken tenders.
It's mid. Yeah, it's mid.
Whereas, yeah. I don't know. You do a better job.
Anyways, my pick was Bijan. Again, they have to go over 20 plus PPR points. So how likely is Bijan Robinson to go over 20 plus PPR points? Is that a 1-pointer, 2-pointer, or 3-pointer? 3-pointer being the spiciest. And then Chuba Hubbard was Danny's over 20 plus PPR points again. And also, I'm going to build out a 3 or a 4 anytime touchdown score parlay. And let me know what you guys want to see in that one. Who do you think is scoring a touchdown today that you'd want to see in there? I'll do maybe 3 or 4. I can't remember, or I can't, think of how many I want to do. I'll see how many I actually like. What else do we got here? Christian Watson or Josh Downs. I'm taking they're literally back to back in my rankings. I have Christian Watson 1 spot higher.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I don't mind going with Watson because Downs is coming in questionable. Also, Ethan, how the heck is Bijan and Chuba the same? What? What do you
Bijan
mean?
hasn't been good, man.
Okay,
Chuba 2 is outrageous. Like he should be a 3, but like Bijan getting a 2, I don't think is outrageous.
I don't think it's outrageous, but all I'm gonna say, like objectively, bro, like Chuba should be worth more than Bijan on a hotness scale to go off. Like we're talking about the 8th overall fucking pick. Like, what are we doing, man? I always get gypped by these scores. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Keep leaving the scores down there.
Yeah, how many times has Chuba Hubbard eclipsed 20? Ethan, how many times has Chuba Hubbard eclipsed 20 in his career?
Yeah, that's true. We're talking like a career best game for Chuba Hubbard, and Bijan's
Literally.
done it, I think, twice already this year.
Oh man, I get no credit sometimes. Start 2 half PPR. Flowers, Hunt, Downs. Flowers, Hunt, Downs. Do you half PPR with Downs questionable? Do you just sit him here? I mean, I have Flowers. Actually, yeah, no, definitely. In a half PPR, Hunt's going to get goal line opportunity in a 12.5 implied favorite game. So
I'm not
Hunt over
starting
Downs.
Kareem Hunt over these guys. No chance.
Sign it
Flowers
up.
and Downs all day.
I'll take Hunt half PPR and you'll take Downs. Let's do it. Half PPR. That's the question.
Do it.
At 0.5 PPR. Dude, this just screams to me Kareem Hunt, 7 carries for 33 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns inside the 5.
Well, he's already done that.
But he's going to do it again.
I don't know, man.
It's so
We're
gross.
seeing we're getting an Olave touchdown from Scott in the chat here. Seeing who else is saying touchdown scores this week.
By the way, so Arthur also said Bijan 1, Chuba 3. If you want to split the difference, we can do Bijan 2, Chuba 3, or Bijan 1.
I mean, if everybody's saying 1 for Bijan, I'll take 1 for Bijan. Like it's
only,
not like totally outrageous. I just want to see what the consensus is.
I mean, Bailey said Hubbard 2, Bijan 1 as well. But if you ask Arthur Smith,
so let's get. We'll give. We got Arthur says Bijan 1, Chuba 3. Maybe we go
Ethan
1 and 2.
2.
I don't know.
I think 1 and 2 is pretty fair because we got a 1-2, 2-2, and a 1-3. So that's kind of splits the difference.
Yeah, let's go 1-2.
All right, fuck it.
So we're saying Gus Edwards touchdown from Bailey. I like that.
I like that. I mean, I do have them straight up against you, right? Gus versus Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Gus Edwards right now is plus 115 to score a touchdown. So I think I like that one as part of the parlay there.
Yeah,
we're seeing a Pollard. We're seeing that's the second person that said Pollard, so I'm gonna have to put Pollard in this.
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier there, Hamish. It kind of feels like everybody's, down on Pollard right now, hasn't really been efficient. And this is just kind of like the squeaky wheel game where the passing work does the brunt of the work. They get inside the 5 and he punches in 2 touchdowns. Like,
so
again, I'm biased.
10 to score right now, but I'm pretty sure when I checked the other day, he was plus 135. So people must be hammering Pollard touchdown.
Yeah. Dude, again, I'm biased because I literally have him in my home league. So I'm also a Cowboys fan and I'm praying that he scores, but I mean, I wouldn't mind it for fantasy to say the least.
I'm gonna do Gus Edwards, Tony Pollard, and Bijan Robinson. Those are the 3 I'm gonna do. Surprisingly, Bijan's odds are the worst to score a touchdown of that group. Gus Edwards is plus 115, Tony Pollard's minus 110, and Bijan is plus 125.
It's solely because of the implied points, right?
I mean, maybe, but like Gus Edwards' game doesn't have like a super crazy amount of points. I don't think.
Yeah, but the Ravens are implied for like 25 points this week.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, you got where we left off. Let's
so I did a $20 bet that'll pay 185. If anybody wants to tail that, Gus Edwards, Tony Pollard, Bijan Robinson, anytime touchdown bets, it's like 8.5 to 1, give or take.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to find where I left off here. Hold on.
Let's crank with you.
Okay, we got it. I believe this was Josh's question. Kincaid or Hawkinson? Yeah, we got to that one already. Where is this? No, now that Ritter's bench. Yes. Okay. Pick one. Christian Watson, Darrell Henderson, or Demario Douglas. I'm taking Christian Watson there. Shout out Canadian Chuba Hubbard. Yes, sir.
Wait,
Rolando's to start sick. Keontae Ingram, AJ Dillon, full PPR.
Henderson Watson.
Just give me the
Henderson Watson was relatively close. Was that full PPR? If so, then I don't mind the Watson call. But if
I'm taking Watson for sure. I don't give a fuck what the scoring.
Henderson versus Watson half PPR. You want to do it?
Sure.
Bet.
But yeah, I'm going Keontae Ingram there, Rolando, with the workload that he's expected to see. Aaron Jones or Kareem Hunt? I'll take Aaron Jones there, Bailey. Do I play Kupp or Thielen as my wide receiver 2? I mean,
can you start both of them, man?
That's literally crazy that's a question, but Kupp is definitely never not in your how can you possibly put Kupp on your bench is my question.
I have Kupp at 8, Thielen at 9.
Yeah, can you get them both in your lineup? But I would absolutely never in a million years sit Cooper Kupp as long as he's healthy.
I mean, if it was Cooper Kupp versus Keenan Allen, who would you have sit?
Cooper Kupp versus Keenan Allen?
Yeah.
I would sit Keenan Allen.
So you have a couple higher than Allen this week.
I do.
Fair enough.
We got one quick. Go ahead.
Got one quick from Jay. I appreciate that. He says Charbonnet or Roschon. You guys are the best, dude. I talked about these guys as both deep flex plays this week. They're like literally almost back to back in my rankings. Let me see exactly how I ordered it. I had Charbonnet at 32, Roshan at 34. So I would go with Charbonnet because you get the better offense there. But I don't know, man. Like I wouldn't be shocked if he took over. So
Ooh, listen to this stat. Tua Tagovailoa hasn't beaten a team with a winning record in 406
401
days.
days. Oh, 406 now. Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy.
I saw that. So you have where we left off.
Sorry, I just want to read this report. Before firing Josh McDaniels, the Raiders had a team meeting where the players directed their frustrations and unloaded on him.
I love that.
Kind of pause, but also like crazy that's like what like can we stop with Josh McDaniels? Like I never want to hear him get hired as a head coach ever again.
Wait. McDaniels had Antonio Pierce speak on his behalf, and Pierce brought up the Giants 07 team that beat the undefeated Patriots, explaining how that team believed they could beat anyone. Pierce said the Raiders need that mindset. The players all loved it, but McDaniels didn't. McDaniels told Pierce when everyone left, "Don't you ever talk about the Patriots like that."
What a cock. What? Was he on that staff? Probably, right?
Wait. Don't you ever talk about the Patriots. Like, shut up.
That's actually hilarious that he like fully was like, hey, remember when we beat your fucking team when you were undefeated?
Nah, fam, bro. Like, don't ever talk about in bold too. Wow, he was fucking.
Don't ever talk about the Patriots like that. This man is an undercover ops person for the Patriots, no matter what team he goes to.
That's the group chat. That is hilarious.
That sounds like a tone setter's tweet.
That's literally what I just said. It sounds like a tone setter's tweet, bro. Oh my god.
Anyways, Jay, do we answer this question? I would go with Charbonnet personally. I don't know about you.
Charbonnet, yeah.
Half PPR need one flex, Godwin, Nico Collins, and Lockett. I think I have Godwin and Nico like right next to each other. I do. I have Collins at 23 and Godwin at 24. So I would barely go Nico, but that is so close, dude. And half PPR, maybe you slightly lean the big play upside. Full PPR, I might have gone Godwin there.
I'm still going Godwin.
Really, eh?
I need to see more signs of life from this Texans offense. They haven't been good in these last few weeks.
Yeah, that's fair. They're at home though. They've played pretty well there.
That's fair. Yeah, that's for the record, they're like literally back to back almost in my rankings. But
yeah, and they are back to back in mine.
Let me see exactly where I have them ranked. I think I have Godwin at like 24, and let me see where I have them. Godwin is 24, and Collins is 27, and full PPR and half. Obviously, like that's like a coin flip.
Yeah. Stafford was just rolled out. Do I stick with Puka? Yes, you do. You don't play Amari Cooper over him. LFG, good morning, gents. What's going on, Jason?
That, Jason.
Crowder. Okay, go ahead.
Godwin, Nico Collins, Lockett. He needs one. I'm going Godwin here about Pedro.
Yeah, like
we literally just had this discussion.
Nico. This was the question that we answered already.
Oh my!
That's prompted the discussion. Anyways, I would go Nico. Kai, I think we may have answered this in a super, but I think I would go Wandale here.
Yeah.
Hubbard or Rashad White?
Hubbard one spot higher, 17 versus 18.
I have Rashad White at 14.
Wow.
Versus
you're even higher than I am.
Yeah. Which pains me as a Bucs fan to say that Rashad White is still that high in my rankings. But
by the way, quick note, I was rewatching earlier our trade targets from week 6. And when I started talking about Jahmyr Gibbs, there was a point of the video where you're like, why would I trade away the bird in hand that I have with Rashad White for the bird in the bush that I have with Jahmyr Gibbs?
I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, for what it's worth, he's not going to fucking go off like he did when Montgomery's back.
I agree, but it's just so funny because like the thesis of it was like he's got depressed prices. The owners are like probably bad record. And if anything were to happen to Dave Montgomery, he's got league winning upside, which literally has like all played out in the span of 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just fucking funny. I showed Flat. He's like, bro, that's so hilarious looking back. Because that was 3 weeks ago, bro. That just shows you how everything changes in fantasy like this.
It's crazy because like I feel like, yeah, it's wild that's how that transpired. Because it's almost like when you like tweet out like, oh, go pick up Zach Charbonnet in case Kenneth Walker gets injured. And then the next game, Kenneth Walker gets injured. And then people victory lap the tweet. They're like, I told you that Charbonnet needed to be rostered. It's like, thanks, dude. I didn't realize to roster a high-end handcuff.
Oh, my fault that I don't know what implied upside in fantasy means. Contingent upside in fantasy means. Come on.
Singletary and Boyd. People are telling me how to start my lineup here. I'm going to roll with Singletary and Boyd, even though I have Higgins already. I think Singletary and Boyd's probably the right decision.
You're going Packers over the Raiders, or are you going Raiders over the Packers? They're both playing. The Raiders against the Giants, Packers against the Rams. Packers
I'll
are home
take
favorites.
Packers, I think.
Yeah, the Packers probably just like a better. I don't know. They're both fucking bad.
I mean, I think it's possible that the Raiders like really show up in this game, but also like Daniel Jones is much better than
just a big fuck you, right? Just a big fuck you to McDaniels.
Yeah. Dude, Raiders -1.5 is like the lock of the century, bro. They're gonna win this game, 100%.
Probably. Pollard, White, Henderson, Chuba. So we're both agreeing easily the number one here is Pollard.
Yeah, and I would still go White over Chuba, but it's close enough that you could go Chuba, but I would still go White.
That's why I just wasn't saying anything, because this is literally just the discussion point we had 2 seconds ago between Chuba and White. I would go Chuba.
In full PPR, especially, like White's going to have more of a receiving workload, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, for sure. Again, for the record, they're literally back to back for me. RB 17 and 18. I would go Chuba because I like the script here. I like the quarterback advantage that the Panthers have in this game. But like they're both, White's going to get a ton of receiving work. Chuba's going to have some scoring opportunity. But sure. You got where we left off. Let's speed through a little bit.
People reacting. Zach Moss or Chuba Hubbard? Definitely Chuba Hubbard there, Freedom. Hubbard or Singletary? Chuba Hubbard. Okay, so there's a lot of Hubbard questions. So let's just honestly answer everybody's Chuba Hubbard questions right now by saying where we have him ranked and who we have him ranked around. So I have Chuba Hubbard right now ranked at RB 19. The running backs directly in front of him, so guys I would start over Chuba Hubbard, are James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Aaron Jones, and Rachaad White. The guys right below Chuba Hubbard, so if you guys have Chuba Hubbard versus these guys, this is where I would go with Chuba Hubbard. Gus Edwards, Brian Robinson, Devin Singletary, Darrell Henderson, Jerome Ford, and Keontae Ingram.
A little bit of a difference there. So you mentioned Gus Edwards. So for the record, 13 to 24 for me in order. I have Tony Pollard at 13, Gus Edwards at 14, Ramondre Stevenson at 15, Kenneth Walker at 16 is the last back I would take over Chuba. Chuba at 17. And then I got Rachaad White, James Cook, Aaron Jones, Darrell Henderson, Devin Singletary, Kareem Hunt, and Brian Robinson filling out my top 24.
You have Kenneth Walker at 16?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Where do you have him?
12.
Why?
Because
they're playing the Ravens,
Walker.
bro.
He's got to score and probably have a long run.
They're playing the Ravens, and Charbonnet got a lot of snaps last week.
No, I have Charbonnet, and I traded away Kenneth Walker for Pollard, so I hope that happens.
Yeah, no, I'm going to play cautious, man. At Baltimore, implied for like 18 points. If I don't have to, I won't touch it. I mean, RB16, he's still getting in your lineup. Let's not get it twisted, but I'm just.
I want to showcase my bets for the week in case anybody wants to tail any of these. I did actually crush a few last week. So like I said, Gus Edwards, Tony Pollard, Bijan Robinson. That is my anytime touchdown one there. And then I also, I took the Colorado money line when they were down 20-5. And it almost actually, like, they kind of almost came back. It would have been, 8 plus 1,800 would pay like $250. I thought that was a good one. I also have a 5-pick parlay that is now screwed because Tyreek didn't score. I'm like, dude, how is he not going to score in his revenge game? And he did not, unfortunately.
Watch everything. Every other part of that's going to hit.
Yeah, this is the one that sorry, where is it? Not that one.
You cashed that. Oh, no, you didn't.
Cash? No, it didn't.
No, you had Miami. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, Miami was raced to 10 points. Oh, that's the part that missed. That sucks.
That sucks.
This is the one that I hit. I bet on these individually. This is the one that I like here. Whoops, that's not the one that I like. I'm literally showing all my misses. Here we go. 4 picks parlay here. Chicago Bears plus 9.5. Under Rams Packers. Houston Texans money line against the Bucks. And then Washington Commanders minus 2.5 or plus 2.5. I believe it's up to plus 3 now, so you probably won't be able to get plus 2.5. But
Mayer, by the way.
I like that one as my 4-pick parlay there.
Michael Mayer, by the way, DSV.
Give me Michael Mayer as well.
Yeah, I assume so. By the way, Brock also brought this up. Yeah, Grover Stewart is out for Indy. I believe he's suspended for 6 games, which their run D is going to be a mess without him, man. It's going to be ugly.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to rapid fire a couple more questions here at 11:40 a.m. If you guys are wondering, we go back in order. JSN or Cooks, I would go with that's pretty close, honestly. JSN's not a really great option. Cooks is a good matchup. I actually might lean with Cooks over JSN there, Chris.
I'm taking a look at my lineup, by the way, quick.
Jets defense, or go for Raiders, Giants, or Packers. I would go with the Packers defense over the Jets defense. I hope you're not rostering all these, and these are just on the waiver wire.
Facts.
Watson injury going to be a lingering one? Yeah, I did actually see Dr. Morse and a couple other people have talked about that they don't want basically anyone to be super excited about Deshaun Watson's injury because it's not like a good situation, basically.
Yep. Full PPR need RB2 and Superflex. Aaron Jones, Zach Moss, Demario Douglas, or Addison. You're going Jones and Addison here,
right? Yeah, I would go with Jones and Addison there.
All right, bet. So you got where we left off. I'm going to keep spamming this.
I need to make sure my lineups are set as well.
Fair enough. So I don't have where we left off.
We can't sacrifice our own lineups for you guys. I'm sorry.
I've done it a couple times.
We're degens just like you.
Yeah. By the way, I'm abusing the out glitch where you just put them on the IR and you just scoop up another player with upside.
Classic.
Hey, man. Yeah, we may as well just wrap this up because we're just going to be setting our lineup. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. We got to as many as possible. Obviously, the support is awesome. We already got to see, one drizzler of a game with the Chiefs versus Dolphins. Hopefully, we're in store for some good football for the rest of the day. So hopefully, if you guys have your fantasy lineups, you guys are able to scare the W and get on your road to clinching the playoffs. But yeah,
for sure. And also let us know in the comments or, wherever what you guys want to see tomorrow. I think I want to do some rest of season rankings updates, but let me know if you guys want to see anything differently. Obviously, we're going to have way more content this week than we had last week because I was on vacation. So we will be back to the regular scheduled, daily video kind of situation, but
Amen.
nice little hiatus in between. We had like a number of months in a row where we were just fucking grinding. So felt good to get away and chill for a bit.
No, yeah, and I'll be going to Ohio in a couple of weeks, so that'll be fun. Gonna go see the in-season tournament game between the Pistons and the Cavaliers, so that should be fun.
True. Is anybody of relevance going to play in the game, or do basketball players still soft as shit and never play?
Because it's the in-season tournament, I think actually like a lot of people are going to play because there's like double implication for that game because they're playing for the tournament, but it also counts for a regular season game. So if anything, they would sit out in a playing game or in-season tournament game. So it should be fun. But either way, I'm going to end this. Take care, guys. And like I said,